What's up everybody, Arrg The Pirate here, and today we're gonna play a little Apollo in the duo lane. And oh man, we have an awesome match, but before we get into that, we're gonna give away another skin code. So, as we always do, I'm gonna play a little clip. The first person to guess the god that's making that ability noise wins a free code. Here's that clip. Y'all should be able to blow that one right out of the park. Good luck to everybody. Alright now, let's get into this build and this kit. Now for my first 1500 gold, I'm going to start out with Hunter's Blessing, Spike Gauntlets, 2 mana potions, and 2 health potions. Spike Gauntlets is rank 1 of Devourer's Gauntlets, which is the first item I'm going to build because I don't have a support and I want that lifesteal. And then I'm going to build into Ninja Tabby, Executioner, Wind Demon, Deathbringer, and then Blood Forge for my last item. And I've got beads and Aegis for my first 2 relics, and I actually pick up beads first because I am going against a Nox. I didn't realize she was going to be a support, but it worked out perfect. Next, we have to go over his kit, and first up we have his passive, Audacity. After 10 successful basic attacks, Apollo gains Audacity, attacking with both hands and increasing his attack speed by 100% for the next 5 basic attacks, and that includes if he misses, so you can miss those basics. Now before we finish up his kit, let's talk about what's about to happen. So if you see, I've done a pretty successful job of turtle shelling, avoiding a lot of damage, and poking the enemy down. And Jingwei is about to back. That's going to leave Nox 100% open for my kit, and if you see there, we're able to zoom in and absolutely delete her. And that's because her ADC left her. And guys, when that happens, you need to at least communicate or something like that. That way, I don't just instantly go in and delete somebody. If she would be an actual Guardian with some more armor and things like that, that wouldn't have been as easy to do, but you could see just that quick decision of her backing and not staying in, we're able to take her out. So beautiful is his one, Apollo strums a single chord on his lyre. It's so beautiful, it hurts all enemies on a long-range damage attack. Serenade is his 2. Apollo uses his amazing voice to mesmerize all nearby enemies and bolster himself with additional physical protections. Any damage done breaks the mesmerize on those enemies though. Apollo's 3 is the moves. Apollo runs forward and slides on his knees, dealing damage, knocking aside all enemies, and adding a stack of Audacity for each enemy hit. At the end of the slide, the movement speed is decreased of all enemies and increased for himself and allies. So this is a great escape as well as a great engagement tool. Now before we go over his ultimate, we're about to make another play. So if you see here, Jingwei's pushing in, Nox is pushing in, they're trying to get some damage on me, and hey, that's okay. Let's play safe. You can see Jingwei actually does some damage to me under tower, allowing me to just instantly take her out. We're gonna go ahead and clean this wave up, and I've now hit level 5. That means I'm going to be able to just make a huge play onto the enemies, and sure enough, that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and just ult and take out Nox. If I die for that, it's not that big of a deal, but we actually end up surviving with 8 health. Oh man, awesome. We're able to take her out. That's 3 kills within, just a few minutes in this solo lane, and it's because the enemy team is being just a little bit too aggressive. Now, since we did use his ultimate, let's talk about it. Across the skies, Apollo rides in his chariot across the sky, choosing when to land, dealing damage every 0.2 seconds for 0.8 seconds as he lands. Enemies hit by the last tick of the landing will also be knocked up, and this really just allows you to use your entire kit to delete somebody, and you can see that's what we did on Nox. It was a very risky play, but it definitely paid off, and now I've got my Devourer's Gauntlets online. We should be able to just sustain like crazy, stay in this lane forever, and just keep deleting these enemy gods. Alright, let's get into the gameplay. So, again guys, if I would have known I'm not going to have a support, I thought I was going to have our Sylvanas head over, and I wouldn't have to worry about heals as much, everything like that, but that didn't quite work out. So, we have to play very safe, and the enemy team, instead of going for buffs, things like that, clearing out my buffs, they're just remaining very, very pushy, and this is going to free my team up to make some very easy rotations. And you can see there, we were about to head in on that Jingwei. We end up taking just a ton of damage there. Oh, we've got to be careful of Nox, especially with our beads down from that last time she hit me with all that good stuff. So, just be careful. I go ahead and ping for help. Hopefully we can get some rotation from maybe our jungle or our Sylvanas. You know, if they can head over here, that would be absolutely great. I've got to avoid Nox, and if she would have hit me with that stun there, I'd be dead. But again, they're still remaining pushed up to this tower, and that's going to allow Loki to head over. And you can see, I'm going to go ahead and engage. I get that Mez off, and with Loki showing up, we're going to get a sweet double kill here. Oh, man, that's absolutely great. What a great rotation by him, and you can see we just simply pinged help one time, guys, one time, and he made that rotation. Awesome play by Loki, and guys, oh, great. This is a great start. We're doing work, man. Now from here, I'm going to clean out this wave and then back. I'm not going to try to push this tower. The enemy team has been pushing my tower, and you see, we're currently 4-0-1. That's because they've been playing hyper aggressive. Since I'm just going to back out, that allows me to throw on my T2 boots and then get back to lane and start farming. And as the hunter, farming is absolutely huge. I've been doing great with kills so far, but I still need more farms so I can get those items online. From here, we have to be careful of Nox's rotation, and, you know, again, we're doing great on farm. We want to concentrate on our farm because we definitely are going to be a carry. We were able to beads out, but not quite fast enough to avoid that damage, but that's quite alright. With Devourers on, we should be able to lifesteal right back up, and, you know, hey, no problem at all. The enemy team is still being hyper-aggressive here. You can see I cleaned out the minion wave, Nox comes in, and she takes a handful of tower hits, so let's take her out. You know, we're going to use that ultimate. Go ahead. We get quite a bit of damage on her. But again, she left Jingwei here, and we're going to be able to take Jingwei out. She actually headed back in. We're going to get a sweet double kill. Awesome, awesome play. And, you know, again, they're being hyper-aggressive, guys. Now, I've been in a lot of games where the hunter ends up being in a solo lane. When you are in a solo lane, guys, it's okay to stay under tower. Remember, as the hunter, you're a late game god. Doesn't matter really which hunter you are. Most of them are late game gods. And you want to try your best to just stay and farm. That way, when you start coming online, getting those items, you can just absolutely delete people and then go one-shot a tower. And since I've been doing such a good job of farming, I've got my 2 items online. I know I'm cranking out way more damage than Jingwei, and if you see, we're going to be able to just straight up engage on her right here because I've just got such a commanding lead over her, especially with Devourer's Gauntlets online. All the damage that she's able to do to me, we're going to be able to heal it up. And if you see here, we head to purple. We're back to full health, guys. We poked her out of lane, got to full health, got extra farm, and we're going to continue getting that farm. As the solo lane hunter, kind of, that's what you want to do. And you can see we're going to go ahead and head in on Jingwei again. We're able to poke her down, and she's able to get out, but that's quite all right. We've got our ultimate. And we're going to head over to her and just take her out, guys. We're going to just take her out right under her tower. We're not worried about nothing. We've got to be careful, though, because they do have some rotation. So let's try our best to get out as quickly as possible. We did take a couple of tower hits there. No problem. Let's get back in the lane, continue our farm. And again, we're pushing them out of lane. That's exactly what we want to do. Now, since I have been keeping them on staggered death, Jingwei, you know, she's about to show back up or spawn back in, but I don't know where Nox is. I'm going to go ahead and go into tower just a little bit here, but I see Nox shows up. Let's go ahead, beads out of that stun under tower, and let's try to make it out. We hit her with that Mez, so that's going to give us a little bit more time to escape, especially since her dash is down now, and that's going to free me up to be able to back easy peasy. We didn't get much poke on that tower, but that's quite all right. We got a little bit, and we're continuing this great farm that we're going for. Now, from here, I'm going to head back to my lane, but I see mid lane is in trouble, so I want to clean this wave up so I don't just give away this tower. Nox is not going to be able to just instantly push into that tower, so that's fine. We'll be able to rotate to mid, chase these guys off a little bit, wait for my team to spawn in, because it would be much better to lose a T1 in our duo lane than to lose a T2 in this mid lane, and we're hopefully just going to be able to push these back. Now, Izanami is in mid, and she's probably been doing a decent job of farming because you can get quite a bit of farm in mid, so I need to be very careful, but that's quite all right. just kind of wait for them to push out or push into my tower. Just kind of hold them off. Sure, they might head into my T1 again, but that's really not a big concern as much as this T2 is. Now again, just like in duo lane, these guys are being hyper aggressive, and that's great for me. You see there, we're actually going to be able to take Izanami out there, and I got my ult back. So let's go ahead and take out Jingwei, and sure enough, doesn't stand a chance. Getting a great double kill while my team spawns back in. We're going to go ahead and get that mid lane pushing and then head back to my duo lane and get ready for this push. Keep them out of tower and hopefully save this tower. With our Wukong showing up, you know, we kind of surround Nox there. Sure, we do lose our T1, but we're able to take her out just easy peasy. And since we are keeping their team on these just insane staggered deaths, you know, at these early stages, it's going to allow me to just freely push into their T1. We're actually going to take their T1 out here. That's great. You know, we're trading T1s, but we are getting kills, guys, and that's the big deal. We're 23-4, so getting those kills is huge. The T1s are really not that big of a deal, and losing them, you know, no problem at all. Unfortunately, our mid lane is getting demolished, and you can see it's about to go down. We actually lose our T1 in mid. You know, that's just very unfortunate, but let's hopefully head over to this Izanami and look at the damage we're doing to her, guys. You know, we've done a great job of farming. With all the kills that we have, everything like that, we're able to just absolutely box her. You know, we're 3 levels ahead of her, everything like that. We've got a great commanding lead. Awesome play. And unfortunately, again, we did lose that T2, but that's quite all right. I'm actually going to head over to the jungle to hopefully save our Wukong. And sure enough, Nox missed that ult, and she's going to be easy peasy kill for me if I can ever land a basic, and we're able to take her out. Save Wukong's life. Absolutely awesome. Now, I've talked about playing hyper-aggressive as a hunter several times in a lot of my videos, and guys, this is a great example of why. For one thing, I've got a huge lead over her. You know, I'm several levels above her. I've done a great job of farming, and you can see we're deleting her. And that right there, that was all of her escapes. Unless she had Blink, she's got no way of escaping me, especially with my ultimate up. We're able to make that just very easy kill, get our godlike, and there was no reason for her to be pushed up like that. You know, they could have been going for Gold Fury because we're at that disadvantage. We're 4v5, we're at that disadvantage, but you can see, look at the kills, guys. We're 28-4 because the enemy team is just constantly pushing lanes solo, and that's making it very easy to pick them off. Now from here, I'm going to counter push mid lane. You can see they've got some presence here, and that's something to be aware of. I'm going to drop our yellow and just let's counter push this lane because it's freely pushing against us since our tower's much closer than theirs. And let's take this tower out. And sure enough, we're able to do some work. And again, we took a tower hit there, but no problem. We're able to heal that up with those Devo gauntlets, and there goes their T2. Awesome, you know, and you can see now that I've really got some items online. I'm just doing work, guys. They're not going to be able to stop me from taking out those towers unless they have, you know, a couple people rotate, and that's awesome. Yeah, you know, we're making progress even though we're at that disadvantage. I'm gonna go ahead and take out Gold Fury now. One thing about taking out these big objectives like this is I don't like doing it solo. I like pinging for help, things like that, and I don't usually engage with it. But since we are at that disadvantage and I've got my lifesteal online, I knew I could solo it. I've got my ult as well as my escape, so if they did have some rotation, I might give them a free Gold Fury, but at least I wouldn't die to it. Now, Nox does show up. I went ahead and used beads right there. That was just a bad beads, but is what it is. You know, and again, Jingwei as well as Nox are playing very aggressive. We want to keep them pushed back, and I've got that advantage. You know, I'm level 19 now. You know, compared to them both being at level 13 and Nox being at level 11. You know, we've got a absolutely huge advantage over them, and I'm just kind of buying some time. Let's go ahead and engage on Jingwei. Sure, we're able to get that mez off. We delete her, man. Oh, man. Nox is here, you know, and as long as we can avoid Nox's stun, we'll be okay. She missed that ultimate. That was close. But she missed that ultimate. We ended up getting that stun there, and no problem. Let's go ahead, try to stay engaged on her. She ends up dashing out of our dash, but that's quite all right. I've got my ultimate. So, we're gonna go ahead and head in. Let's just delete Nox, and sure enough, one basic attack, that's all it took. Let's get this lane pushing in the right direction and see where we need to go from here, because again, we are at that disadvantage. We need to start making rotations and not staying in lane. Now, once I get that lane cleaned up, I'm gonna go ahead, head back to base, and then I head to our solo lane. You know, there is a fight breaking out, but my team ended up taking care of that. I'm gonna head to mid lane. Let's get mid lane situated, end up dropping red, picking red up, and then I'm actually going to head back to the duo lane. And Jingwei's pushing this lane again, guys, and this is great. We're able to get that mez off, and look at that damage. Oh, man. Crit. Oh, crit so nice. And we're able to take her out before she had time to do anything, guys. And again, that hyper-aggressive hunter, you need to make sure you are being safe when you're doing something like that, because you will most likely die if you get some rotation and get ganked. Now, we do have a pretty decent split push going. Anubis and our Wukong are pushing into the solo tower, and I'm gonna start pushing into the duo tower. We're able to absolutely delete Nox, you know, easy peasy. Let's go into this tower, get some poke on it, and then I see Chalk heading over here. Okay, let's peel off of this. Let's get out of here. But Loki's here, so, okay, let's go ahead and drop their purple, and then let's re-engage on this. You know, we should be able to get a tower here, and sure enough, Chalk is leaving, so that's going to free us up to push into this tower. He starts heading back, but we're able to clean those minions up and get into this tower. You know, awesome. Awesome play, and, you know, like I said, it is easy peasy tower, and with Chalk here, you know, we're able to just absolutely box Chalk at this point. Being level 20 and him being 16, you know, with me having just such a good farm going, oh man, didn't stand a chance. And sure enough, we're gonna peel off of that. Now, I'm going to get that lane set. You saw I took out all the minions. I'm gonna head over to this side camp, just get that little bit of extra farm, and then I'm actually going to try to engage on this Phoenix. I do have my ult, I do have my escape, so we might be able to actually make something happen, and you can see the damage we're doing to this Phoenix, guys. If we can get these minions out of the way, we might be able to actually take it out. There is an Ame shows up, but I'm gonna try to die for this tower. I really want that Phoenix. The body blocks are real. Oh, that was a great job by Izuname's part, and we're not able to get that Phoenix. It would have been nice to get it, but it's what it is. They were able to stop me. It is very, very low, though, and Loki, like a champ, is actually going to head in and take that Phoenix out. That's going to free me up to make huge rotations because they have to devote somebody to that lane now. Awesome, awesome play. Now, once we spawn back in, we're going to head down our mid lane, and you can see they're pushing it. Chalk and Izanami are here. We have to be careful. I'm going to go ahead and just try to focus on the minions, take them out. We end up getting a little bit of poke on Izanami, which is nice. Loki ults in, and oh man, we just elite Izanami. Awesome. We're able to get that mez on, and there goes Chalk as well. Great play by Loki. You know, me and Loki are working well together. You know, once we both came online, you know, we're working very well together. Him taking out that tower when I couldn't quite finish it off. You know, making these plays in mid when they would have definitely pushed into that tower. It's just a great, great job. And you can see just that little bit of teamwork is really turning this match around, even though we've always been at a pretty big kill advantage. You know, once you get to that late game, it's all about teamwork and much, much less about getting into those fights and laning. So, making those right plays is absolutely huge. I'm going to go ahead and engage a little bit on this. You know, I thought Anubis was kind of baiting there, but I guess he was not. And I'm going to try to engage on this. You know, Achilles is tough. And you can see we are getting some work done to him, but again, he's very tough to deal with. Wukong's actually rotating over, and you can see here, we're staying engaged on this fight, guys. We want this fight. We want to take them out. I used my ult there, and that was just that was a bad play. You can't cancel it, and I didn't realize that. I don't play Apollo much. That was a bad play. I set him up to get that assassination. Feels bad, man. Now, once I spawn back in, I'm just going to actually ult over to the mid lane. I end up burning my ult to actually take out that minion wave, keep it pushing, and then I'm going to head over to our solo lane where, you know, there's definitely a fight going on. Their Achilles is still here. You know, he's half health with that stun, but we've got our Mez. We've got a huge minion advantage with Loki showing up too. Oh man, didn't stand a chance. This is actually going to allow us to push into this Phoenix here in the solo lane. Awesome, guys. Awesome play, and you know that was a great job by our Loki once again. You know, Anubis did wrap up a kill there, and he did get kind of caught out, but that's quite all right. You know, him making that choice really allowed us to push into that Phoenix and take it out. Instead of pushing that mid lane in, I'm actually going to head over to our duo lane. We still have Fire minions, even though the Phoenix just spawned in, but you can see the enemy team has an absolute huge collapse here. And guys, you're never going to win a 3v1. Just get out of that situation. Let's go ahead and back off. Loki's actually going in on the mid Phoenix. Maybe we can make something happen there before the enemy team rotates back over. Sure enough, we're able to head in and get some poke on it, but it is just nowhere close to enough. Let's get out. Let's go ahead and back off. Izanami's there, and you can see me and Loki. We poke her down. We almost take her out. Right out of the gate. That's great. Wukong is still staying engaged, and he actually takes Izanami out. Great play by him, but he sacrificed himself for it. It's time to kind of get out, but with Loki going ahead and ulting in onto Achilles, you know, hey, that's great. We end up beadsing and aegising that damage from Nox. You know, awesome. We've really flipped this fight around. You know, we've taken out their, you know, one of their front lines and their hunter. You know, look at Loki going in and deleting Chalk. We're going to go ahead and keep pushing onto this Nox. You know, let's just keep this pressure up. This might be the play that we need to actually, you know, really make some progress. Anubis is getting that push in on that solo lane. We're able to slide in and actually take Nox out. Great. I'm going to go ahead and just ult out of here. You know, I'm in a bad spot. I don't want to deal with that. I probably should have went to the minion wave instead of ulting down where I did. You know, just excited. But, you know, is what it is. We're able to get this lane pushing, and again, we're gonna get pushing into these Phoenix. You know, Anubis is pushing that solo lane. I'm gonna go ahead and push the duo lane. You know, our mid lane was pushed like crazy just a second ago. So, you know, hey, we're making some huge lane progress, and that's exactly what we want to do. Now, from here, again, I'm going to push into this Phoenix, but once I see some rotation, you know, I'm not worried about Jingwei all that much, but once I see some real rotation, I need to get out, and, you know, I'm just not going to be able to handle that. We want to keep that pressure up, so, you know, we did attract a lot of their, you know, a lot of the enemies. You saw Achilles rotated over. There was a decent rotation, especially at this stage in the game, and that's really going to allow us to push elsewhere, you know, keep that team split up. I'm going to rotate to mid, you know, we're all here in mid. Let's make something happen. This is the play. That Anubis ult, we're able to take out Chalk. There goes Jingwei. Easy peasy, guys. This is huge. This is exactly what we needed. 3 of them down at this point in the match. You know, with that Wukong using his ult to go in and distract that tower. This is going to be very easy Phoenix. And sure enough, we're able to take it out. Being a man short this entire match, and, you know, me being in that duo solo lane, it was definitely tough. But you can, as long as you play it safe, guys, and let the enemy team make those mistakes, you can pull these types of games off. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed, and if you did, show me some love, leave me a comment, think about subscribing, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.